Oh, God. So, I haven't really been keeping up on video game news because there are other things I have to do in life, unfortunately. If only I could be like PewDiePie, where I could just lacklusterly make videos and have no opinion about anything, say a couple of bad jokes, offend people, and pick up a pretty fat check. Instead, I make a couple of bad jokes, offend people, and pick up a pretty small check. But all jokes aside, apparently on September 25th, WCCF Tech released one of the most cancerous coverages of a game in recent memory. Dave Audrey, I believe, was behind the Assassin's Creed Origin runs better on the Xbox One X than it does on the PC so far article, which has been shared over 1,000 times in that time, which for WCCF Tech, 1,000 shares is like godlike for them. Honestly, I can say this is a bit of a clickbait article, one. Two, a sign of not the best journalism. I mean, I'm not saying he's wholly to blame, but there are so many things and facets he didn't cover. In the sense of he didn't ask about the PC version of the game, what the specs were, what was wrong, what will optimization be, what current build are we on for this. Nah, he just got on, played a little bit of both, and walked away. Typical games journalism today. Come on, let's fucking face it. He starts off the article by saying Assassin's Creed has burned us before. After releasing games which have been either technically wonky or just tedious to play, Ubisoft made a wise decision in taking Assassin's Creed off the calendar of 2016 and instead refining the game to bring the series back revitalized. And after playing a bit of Assassin's Creed Origins, they've definitely made some moves in the right direction. Frankly, let's be fucking real here. Assassin's Creed has been garbage for years. I don't think it's really been that good since probably 2 or Brotherhood. 3 was like okay, but not anything special, but it did introduce the ship mechanics that got crazy. Then it went crappy. Then they had Black Flag. Black Flag was probably one of the best in recent memory. Then we had Unity, which was technologically this big idea they had, but they put too much faith in current console generations and it sank and died. I mean, Unity was so shit on both consoles and PC, it wasn't even funny. And here we are now with, once again, another Assassin's Creed, which looks to be wonky as shit. Now, I said this before when I was watching other people play it. The game looked unfinished. Yes, I know it's an alpha build, but my god, there were so many technical and animation bugs I was catching a look at that it's just like, I know what's going to happen. It's going to come out, they're going to try and pull a Witcher 3 vibe, they'll probably fail at it, and the game will play like shit on PC, and it'll do the usual, what the fuck is this company's name again? It'll do the usual Ubisoft, where a game from theirs you're playing, you'll have to figure some way to fix some sort of fucking bug they have in it. How do I know? Because I'm using an Assassin's Creed game in the background, and it has a new audio XDDL bug that you have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to fix, or else the game will continuously crash every 10 minutes now. Fuck you, Ubisoft. I won't buy a game of yours ever again. All the games I got from them are free, promotional. You buy something, oh, here's a free Unity game, and it's like, oh boy, Unity game? Okay. Thanks, I guess. You know, it was a sad day and age when you get a free game and you're just like, oh, it's a Ubisoft game. But the article itself doesn't really matter, in the sense of the thing that everybody's focusing on is the last bit of the article, which every Xbox fanboy has been foaming at the mouth with glee, because honestly, I have to say the Xbox community, the hardcore fans, thus far seem like the most vitriolic group of gamers I've ever seen, who relish in the demise of other consoles or the failure of other consoles and platforms. For God knows what reason drives their bellicose nature honestly eludes me completely and utterly, where rationality means absolutely nothing, specs on the paper mean nothing. Phil Spencer said the game is great, and Digital Foundry said this is the best thing to happen. That's all I need to know. The Xbox is the greatest console ever. Better than PC. Now, here's where we get to it at. The author then goes, I actually tried the PC version under the impression I could witness up to 60 frames per second, but I was plagued with what was below 30 FPS constantly. Constant stutters hampered my experience, ruined both gameplay and visual fidelity. The issue here on the PC version truly is on par with earlier Assassin's Creed Unity, a game infamous for poor performance at launch, though it should be said gameplay I witnessed on the Xbox One X version of the game had no such issues from what I could see. That tiny blurb is all they needed. The Xbox fans then went to sharing this repeatedly, bashing the PC, and making some of the most insane, asinine comments I've ever seen in my life. If you want to see madness unfold truly, don't check yourself into a mental hospital because you won't meet this level of bedlamites. With comments such as, "Hey Xbox One fans, don't let the PC Master Race crowns ruin this awesome new console for you, as they just mad and jealous haters who know this console is incredible because just a PC equivalent graphics card, GTX 1080 or Vega, is more than 500 bucks by itself alone." Wrong. Whoever this guy is has his information so wrong it's not even funny. Either A, he's a troll, or B, he suffers from some level of dementia or mental instability, or frankly the inability to use cognitive thought, read or research. Now, this misnomer was created by the Xbox One fans simply because, once again, if you look at his comment, it's hard to verify to confirm because just take Forza 7 for example, which is the biggest instance of proof of just how insanely efficient the Xbox One actually is. It provides a capable performance which you cannot achieve on the PC with anything less than the minimum ultra high-end PC setup, which would consist of minimum Intel i6700 Ryzen 7 paired together with minimum GTX 1080 or Vega 64. Lies. This is a bold-faced lie, as there is video proof of someone showing a 2-core Intel, Pentium G43 something or other, I forgot the name, is one of the best bargain brand CPUs you can get, $99, paired with a GTX 960 overclock, runs Forza 7 Ultra, it's 4K, 60 FPS.
Of course, Forza 7 is 4K 60, but remember that game isn't all that demanding. Oh, yeah, or is it? Then why did Digital Trends say that you'll need a GTX 1080 or Vega 64 to run the game at 4K 60 smoothly? Either that or console optimization is a real thing.
And finally at 4K, I decided to overclock the GTX 1060. Many people can bump up the frequency that high for what I could see on the internet. So it should be very easy to achieve this overclock on a card like this. I used max settings and 2 times MSAA, and it stays at 60 frames per second with some drops to 50 frames per second when there are water splashes in rainy weather. But you can turn off MSAA and lower particles a little bit if that bothers you too much. I tried a better CPU, but I didn't spot any difference in performance so far. The game likes to max out one thread, so I suspect that's the reason why.
So the misnomer that they keep repeating like little parrots of needing a 6700K with a GTX 1080 is a lie. It's misinformation that was started by Turn 10 themselves. And I honest to God believe Turn 10 has every reason to make you think that the Xbox One is the better deal, considering it's a first-party developer for Microsoft. And let's keep in account that only 2 cores are ever maxed out in that fucking game, and this will be patched out later. I mean, hell, remember I made a video, some people got mad at me talking about how Turn 10 has only 2 cores ever being really used for this game. And then, after some people got mad at me, Microsoft a day later says the game's designed to use all the cores, but the game only ever uses 2 cores, so obviously it's something that's going to be fixed later. And it would have been ignored had no one made a stink of it. Just as this information of the Xbox One X being on par with a 6700K and a 1080 Ti, a 1080 is ridiculous. I mean, beforehand they were saying that it was the 1070 that the Xbox One is on par with, but as time goes on, somehow this system finds more power out of hardware. And I will also say that the fact that Assassin's Creed Unity is well optimized on a console isn't a shocker either. It's just another sort of platfall of being on PC. Every now and then ports are just complete garbage. The developer's first and foremost interest is to make sure the console variation of the game runs at its very best. The fact that it is a closed platform system makes this all the more easy. There is the other caveat that the closed platform system isn't as powerful, so I would assume or surmise that this takes a lot more energy and effort to make sure they get every drop of power they can from the system to deliver on all these crazy 4K promises. But we all know that Assassin's Creed Origins runs on 4K checkerboarding. Let's keep in mind that Assassin's Creed Unity is a perfect example of when the game producers think that the consoles are more powerful than they actually are. Maybe in this case, Ubisoft learned from Unity and figured, alright, we're not going to go balls deep into this, we're going to take our time and make sure it works well on the consoles, because Unity, as everyone remembers, played like shit on all platforms. The sad fact of the matter is seeing these ridiculous comments from Xbox fans touting the superiority of a system is sad nonetheless. Simply because Microsoft doesn't give a fuck about you. Get your head out of your ass. Cheerleading for billion-dollar companies, dude? Man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh no, like, do you like cheer when... Oh my god. No, I'm not gonna go there. Not going to, or I'll lose my mind. But I will go back to reiterating my point. The sad fact of the matter is, this is an alpha build. Yeah, I know. The funny thing is, when it's an alpha build for Xbox and it's not doing well, the Xbox fans come out and talk about how there's still room for a game to improve. When an alpha build for the PC doesn't run as well as the Xbox fans talks about how amazing the Xbox is, what a great deal it is, and how much better it is, and it's on the same level as a high-end PC. This is, once again, just complete and utter media bias, and it's disgusting, especially when you're doing it for corporations and you're not getting paid. If you're not picking up a check from these guys and you're spreading this sort of information, you should have someone kick you in the balls because you deserve it. PC gaming, honest to God, we have to deal with developers haphazardly putting out games that need attention from us to fix it. On one hand, it's almost admirable that PC gamers have the mental faculties to actually find and troubleshoot issues that somehow developers miss and fix. Because Lord knows if it happened on the consoles, the console gamers would just, I don't know, throw their console out a fucking window. That's the only option they have. On the other hand, it is disgusting and sad that the PC community gets this sort of treatment. It's ridiculous. The fact that we have to deal with companies such as Warner Brothers and Ubisoft. But at least Ubisoft isn't pulling a Warner Brothers Batman Arkham Knight, where they found the cheapest studio to port their flagship game only to ruin it and have to pull it off of the shelves. And the fact that there's a group of people celebrating this as this is some sort of victory for them, that an alpha build of Assassin's Creed Unity plays poorly, tells me that your life is devoid of any meaning. Sitting there and jerking off violently to the failure of a port, the success of a console. I mean, really. One more great ridiculous quote from the same guy. The Xbox One chipset is extremely fast and ultra efficient for a single solitary purpose of executing game codes and instruction sets, and that's especially true when you take into consideration the hardware implemented DX12, hardware implemented DX12. Oh my god. Talk about the biggest fucking fuck up of ever, DX12. When they talked about DX12 coming out, we all had high hopes, including me. Oh, DX12, you can use like 2 different graphics cards in your computer and they'll work in tandem to play the games, and you don't see shit of that happening. DX12 games run worse than DX11 games. I mean, let's cut this shit. DX12 is not anything special. It has yet to do anything outside. The one game that works well with DX12 is Ashes of Singularity. That is fucking it. That is it. So if you're running around talking about DX12 is going to do something for the Xbox One X again, eat a dick, because it's not. Just like Rapid Pack Math isn't going to make the PS4 Pro any better than it is. I mean, really, this tech has been kind of a huge letdown. Really a huge letdown for anyone that's actually gaming. Maybe in time, 5, 10 years, DX12 might not be dick, but at that point they'll probably have DX13 out. Here we go again with the minimum GTX 1080 Vega 64. Cannot sustain 60 FPS native Ultra 4K and Forza 7 on PC. It's not possible despite all the haters and the trolls going to downplay the Xbox One performance capabilities. And so where the trolls want to try and say the Xbox One X is using the same old outdated Jaguar CPU of the other consoles and saying it's going to be a bottleneck, simply not true. The games like Forza 7 prove this beyond any doubt because this guy is insane. Is he being paid? The PC cannot compare or compete with Xbox One X. That's not going to come cheap, as it's going to cost a minimum of around $1,600 on the low side period. This guy's a fucking idiot. $1,600 for a PC that competes with the Xbox One X. This dude has to be a troll. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure you're going to see a ton of videos from Cold Eastwood and Crap Gamer if it hasn't already happened, because I don't keep up with them, but someone else will tell me, where they use this article to point out the superiority of the Xbox One X and how amazing the console is. And simply, this boils down to a developer early alpha build has not optimized the game very well for the PC. And the sad fact of the matter is that the gaming journalist didn't even bother to go, what are the inconsistencies here with the PC version? Can you tell me what's going on? What's the game build here? Will this be the launch setup? What are the specs of the system? He didn't ask any of these questions. He played a little bit and walked the fuck away. How come I can't have a job as a games journalist? Oh no, I couldn't have one because I actually asked these questions and fucking publishers would get pissed. Like, who the fuck hired you, Mr. Linus Tech Tips? Get the fuck out of here. And then I go, no, I'm not Linus because you can't pay me to leave. And then they'd have some dudes drag me out, so technically they wouldn't have to pay me to leave. Oh god, let me stop here. I'm gonna vomit reading some of these comments. I'm done. This is disgusting.